All right, buckle up, because we're about to take a deep dive into a fictional world that's, well, it's kind of like if you mixed a history textbook with like a sci-fi epic and then threw in a really chaotic game night.
Sounds intense.
It is. We're talking about Daniel's Mapping Roleplay Streams. DMRS for short.
Yeah, DMRS. It's a wild one.
Ever heard of it?
Oh, yeah. I've definitely gone down that rabbit hole.
You and me both. Basically, it's a bunch of friends role-playing, geopolitical scenarios, all on a world map. They're streaming this live online.
Yeah, each person, controls a country, makes alliances, declares wars, all the usual stuff.
Except things get pretty unusual pretty fast.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So we're diving into some excerpts from a wiki that summarizes these streams.
Sounds like a good starting point.
And let me tell you, there's a lot to cover.
For bet.
3 volumes, years of real-time role-playing. We've got multiple seasons and eras. A cast of characters that would make Tolstoy jealous. It's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot to process.
That's enough to make your head spin. And that's why we're here to break it all down.
Exactly. We've gone through and distilled each volume down to the major plot points, the twists, the turns, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So you can get a sense of the overarching story without having to watch hours and hours of streams.
Yeah, you don't have to spend weeks of your life.
Right.
Like we did.
Exactly. We've done the work for you.
You're like your DMRS Cliffs Notes.
Yeah.
So let's start at the beginning with Volume 1.
Okay. Volume
1 kicks off in 2020.
All right. 2020.
We've got a group of friends, a world map, what could go wrong.
Famous last words, right?
Right.
Well, for starters, they run into the lag.
The lag.
Yeah, this malevolent entity that basically just wants to conquer and destroy everything. By the end of season 1, a lag's nuked most of the world, and Daniel, the guy who started the whole thing, has to sacrifice himself to stop it.
Whoa.
Pretty dramatic stuff.
Yeah. Talk about setting the stakes high right from the beginning. But of course, the story doesn't end there. In season 2, we see the world rebuilding.
Yeah.
But then things get a little gibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey.
Time travel.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
The players try to go back in time to save Daniel,
Okay, makes sense.
Try to undo this tragedy, but they end up messing things up even more.
Oh.
They cause the universe to collapse.
What?
And they land in an alternate timeline.
Oh.
Where, surprise, surprise.
What is it?
There's another lag to deal with.
Are you kidding me? Another one?
Another lag.
Oh, come on.
So I think the lesson here is don't mess with time travel.
Yeah, that seems like a solid takeaway. Don't mess with time.
But they don't quite seem to get that memo because throughout the whole series, they keep running into these consequences from their past actions.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's not just a random series of events. There are these ripple effects things that come back to haunt them.
Oh, that's really cool. It kind of adds another layer of depth to the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. It makes it more interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so they're stuck in this alternate universe with a new lag to deal with what else happens in Volume 1.
Let's see. Well, they also have to deal with Black, this other powerful entity.
Okay.
Who's also, really determined to destroy humanity.
So they've got 2 world-ending threats to deal with at the same time.
Basically. Then, in Season 3, out of nowhere, Trinity, this new entity pops up from Area 51 to save the day.
Wait, Trinity. From Area 51.
Yeah, it's kind of like the writers just threw everything at the wall to see what would stick.
And sometimes that's what makes it so fun.
Oh, absolutely.
You never know what's going to happen next.
It keeps you on the edge of your seat, for sure.
Okay, so we've got Lag, Black, Trinity. What else?
Then there's Vertigo.
Vertigo.
At first, it seems like he's a good guy, fighting against the lags.
Okay.
But it turns out he's been, manipulating everyone the whole time.
Oh, no.
He's basically orchestrating these, apocalyptic events for fun.
What?
Yeah, he's like a puppet master.
Classic villain.
Right.
Just loves chaos.
Exactly. And then, just when you think it can't get any wilder, another player, Dragon 1954, reveals himself as the Unideleter.
The Unideleter.
And wipes Vertigo from existence.
Whoa.
Talk about a power move. So Volume 1 ends with a bang, setting the stage for the even crazier adventures of Volume 2.
Oh, man, I can't wait to hear about this.
It's a wild ride.
All right, well, let's take a quick break, and then we'll dive into the chaos of Volume 2.
Welcome back. All right, so last time we left off with the unit leader wiping Vertigo from existence.
Yeah, talk about a cliffhanger. So what happens after the dust settles from all that drama?
Well, Volume 2 kind of shifts gears a bit. Instead of following like distinct seasons, it focuses on eras spanning from 2020 to 2100.
Yeah.
And things kick off with the Dawn Era.
The Dawn Era.
Yeah, where we see new leaders rising to power in this world that's been, completely reshaped by the events of Volume 1.
Okay, so it's like a fresh start, but with some familiar faces.
Exactly. Think of it like a reboot, but with all the baggage from the previous season.
Yeah.
We see characters like Calvin in Germany,
Okay.
Ozzy in East Australia, Sol in West Australia.
Right.
Daniel's back in Russia.
Of course he is.
And then you've got Orange Nightball controlling Ontario, Canada.
Okay, so New World Order, new alliances. I'm sensing some conflict brewing already.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The Dawn Era sees the formation of the African Union, but also the outbreak of World War III.
World War III already.
Yeah, and it's primarily fought in Africa. It's a brutal conflict, devastates the continent, leaves everyone reeling.
Wow, they don't waste any time, do they?
Nope. But after the war, there's a brief period of peace and prosperity. It's called the Trading Era.
The Trading Era.
Nations start developing new technologies, trading with each other. Things seem to be looking up for once.
A glimmer of hope for humanity. But knowing DMRS, it probably doesn't last long, right?
Know it. This is where things get really weird, even for DMRS.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
So Russia decides to celebrate National Cheesecake Day.
National Cheesecake Day.
Yeah, by sending cheesecakes to every country in the world.
That sounds nice. Harmless enough.
Except some of those cheesecakes are contaminated with a deadly virus.
Hold on, a cheese virus.
Yep, you heard that right. A cheese virus pandemic sweeps the globe, throws everything back into chaos.
Are you serious? A cheese virus?
Oh, it's completely serious. Countries go into lockdown, panic ensues. The world is once again on the brink of collapse.
Okay, that's both hilarious and terrifying.
Yeah, it's a classic DMRS move, blending the serious with the absurd, the geopolitical with the utterly random.
Who would have thought cheesecakes could be so dangerous?
Right. But it also kind of highlights this recurring theme, even in a world with, collapsing universes and time travel. Sometimes the biggest threats come from the most unexpected places.
Yeah, it's like a reminder that chaos can come in any form, even a delicious cheesecake.
Exactly.
So how does the world recover from a cheese virus pandemic?
Well, it doesn't really. The cheese virus marks the beginning of the ruptured era.
Ruptured era.
Yeah, it's a period of internal conflicts, collapsing powers, and a lot of uncertainty. Oh, and Daniel disappears again.
Of course he does. It wouldn't be DMRS without Daniel vanishing into thin air every now and then.
Right. His disappearance creates this power vacuum that further destabilizes the world. The Isa, formerly Arabia, collapses, the United Empire rises, and then falls apart due to internal struggles, and new factions are constantly vying for control.
Sounds like a recipe for disaster.
And the ruptured era sets the stage for the apocalyptic finale of Volume 2, where a series of disasters and conflicts culminates in the complete destruction of the world.
Wait, the world actually ends? Like everyone's dead?
Not quite. A small group of survivors manages to escape through time travel, leaving the fate of everyone else unknown. It's a bleak ending, but it also sets up the premise for Volume 3 and a whole new set of challenges in a brand new universe.
Okay, so Volume 2 ends with a bang. Or maybe more like a whimper, considering the world just kind of implodes. But hey, at least some folks escaped. What happens to those lucky time travelers?
Well, that's where we'll pick up next time in our final installment of this DMRS deep dive. We'll explore the aftermath of Volume 2's apocalypse and delve into the complex world of Volume 3, where the survivors try to rebuild their lives in a new universe with, you guessed it, even more chaos and unexpected twists.
All right, so we've journeyed through collapsing universes, battled a cheese virus pandemic, and witnessed the literal end of the world in Volume 2. Talk about intense.
Yeah, Volume 2 definitely didn't hold back.
It's safe to say that in the world of DMRS, things rarely stay calm for long.
That's an understatement.
Right. So that brings us to Volume 3, where our intrepid survivors find themselves in a brand new universe, picking up the pieces, trying to rebuild their lives.
Fresh start, new challenges. The drill.
You'd think after escaping a world-ending apocalypse, they might want to take a break from all the power struggles and the chaos.
Yeah, you'd think so, right?
But this is DMRS. Ambition and conflict are basically woven into the fabric of reality.
It's in their DNA at this point.
So Volume 3 kicks off with the subdivision era, where the survivors start small, they're controlling smaller territories, and gradually expanding their influence.
Okay, so it's like a reset button, but with all the same players, and they're shall we say, complicated history.
Exactly. Fresh start, new universe.
Yeah.
But those old tensions and rivalries resurface pretty quickly.
Some things never change.
And from there, Volume 3 takes us through this whirlwind of eras, each with its own unique set of challenges and conflicts.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the UK and Accord era, the AFD and Chaos era, the Turkey and Space era. It's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah, they really packed it all in.
And amidst all of that, we see these familiar themes playing out: the rise and fall of empires, the struggle for resources, the constant threat of war, and of course those unexpected twists that the DMRS creators are so fond of.
It's like their signature move.
Right. Speaking of unexpected twists, Volume 3 does not disappoint. We've got alien invasions, zombie outbreaks, even a global oil crisis that forces everyone to scramble for alternative energy sources.
They really threw everything but the kitchen sink at them.
It's like they took every possible disaster scenario and crammed it into one volume. But what's interesting is how these events, even the ridiculous ones like the cheese virus, reflect these real-world concerns.
Yeah, totally. Like they're holding up this distorted mirror to our own world, highlighting those anxieties about climate change, resource scarcity, and, the fragility of global stability.
Exactly. It makes you think.
For sure.
And then just when you think it can't get any crazier, Volume 3 introduces the Nemesis era.
Oh, Nemesis era.
Yeah, where this super group of villains, including the return of those pesky L-eggs.
Oh no, not the legs again.
They unite to try and conquer everything.
So it's the ultimate villain. Team up. What happens? Does good triumph over evil?
It's a close call. The final battle is this epic universe-shaking showdown. Involves time corruption, the destruction of Planet 9, and the emergence of the ultimate villain, GLITCH.
GLITCH. That sounds ominous.
And GLITCH is led by none other than Daniel.
Wait, Daniel. The guy who started it all. He's the final boss.
Yep. It's a shocking twist, especially since he was presumed dead for most of Volume 3. But in a last-minute redemption arc, Daniel turns against GLITCH, sacrifices himself to save the remaining leaders, and creates a wormhole for them to escape through.
So they escape the destroyed solar system, but the fate of the universe is still hanging in the balance.
Exactly. It's a bittersweet ending, leaves you with more questions than answers. But that's part of what makes DMRS so captivating. It's a story that constantly pushes boundaries, subverts expectations, and leaves you wanting more.
You're left wanting to know what happens next, even though you know there's no more.
It's a testament to the power of imagination and collaborative storytelling. Even though it started as just this group of friends role-playing online, it evolved into this sprawling epic with complex characters, thought-provoking themes, and a whole lot of chaotic fun.
It's proof that sometimes the best stories come from the most unexpected places.
And who knows, maybe listening to this will inspire you to create your own world of geopolitical chaos and cheese virus pandemics.
The possibilities are endless.
That's all for our deep dive into Daniel's Mapping Roleplay Streams. Thanks for joining us.